The Little Book of Happiness, A Scientific Approach to Living Better. Written by Paul J. Zak. Narrated by Rich Miller. To Chris Rufer, a resolute champion of liberty and the pursuit of happiness. The technology to measure happiness upon which this book is based would not be possible without your encouragement, friendship, and support. Introduction. Benjamin Franklin was a most practical thinker. He flew a kite with a key attached not because he was interested in the physical properties of electricity, but because he wanted to improve people's lives. In 1749 he wrote that he was chagrined a little that his studies of electricity had produced nothing in this way of use to mankind. His experiments led to Franklin's invention of the lightning rod, which did help mankind. He also successfully cooked turkeys with electricity, reporting that the birds killed in this manner eat uncommonly tender. Franklin was a voracious reader and was interested in self-improvement. He had supported himself since he was 17 years old, and his successes were due in large part to taking risks and learning new skills. One of the books Franklin read was by the classical Greek philosopher Aristotle. Aristotle proposed that a person who was virtuous would achieve eudaimonia, or flourishing. In other words, by making a habit of virtues, one would live a happy and fulfilled life. But how does one practice virtues, and which ones? Franklin read some more and came up with 12 virtues. He then made a chart of these virtues and a box for each day so he could check them off to help him form habits so that the virtues were second nature. Franklin met monthly with a group of men he called his junto, with whom he exchanged ideas for mutual improvement. Franklin was excited to share with the junto members his discovery of 12 virtues and the system he had created to become happier. After his presentation, one member, a Quaker medical doctor, pulled Ben aside and told him that his pride showed itself frequently in conversation, that he was not content with being in the right when discussing any point, but was overbearing and rather insolent. Franklin took this critique to heart and added a 13th virtue, humility. Later in life, Franklin believed it was his humility that increased his influence in public councils when he became a member. Franklin was not the only revolutionary leader of the breakaway colonies to embrace virtue for self-improvement. When George Washington was 16 years old, he copied a list of 110 rules of civility and decent behavior in company and conversation from a book put together in 1595 by French Jesuit priests. Washington copied and reviewed these rules to shape his behavior and build a strong moral core that served him well as a leader. Today, it is generally accepted that there are 45 cardinal virtues. Each of these is included in this book. Decades of research in neuroscience and positive psychology have confirmed Aristotle's assertion that virtuous behaviors improve the quality of life. They do this because virtuous behaviors are pro-social. That means that they put others ahead of oneself, and in doing so draw others to us. Research by Oxford University has shown that about 1/2 of our happiness can be traced to having a rich social network. There is no question that as social creatures, social connections are essential for us to thrive. Indeed, having a close group of people who truly care about you is more effective at extending health span than is quitting smoking. Put another way, a large study reported a 50% increase in the likelihood of survival at every age for those with strong social relationships compared to those without them. The anatomy of the human brain reveals that we are truly a social species. We have hypertrophied brain regions that process social emotional information compared to our non-human primate cousins. Since everyone wants to be happier, the key question is, what does having a rich social network mean exactly? The number of friends on your phone contact list? The number of people you talk to in a day? And importantly, how does one add to the richness of one's social network? There are 2 answers to these questions. The first is that we can enrich our social networks by investing in relationships. My published scientific research shows that people who consistently invest in serving others have exceptionally strong brain activity supporting social connections. As a result, they have closer relationships with friends, parents, spouses, and
Sample complete. Ready to continue?